Okay, so why is D wrong? Because the private benefit can never be higher than the social benefit. You as a private person are part of the society, so if your benefit is 10 and my benefit is 20, then, and we're the only two people in the society, then the social benefit is 30, your benefit is 10. But you, if your benefit's 50, even if mine is 0, the social benefit can never be smaller than your private benefit. For part 7, total elimination. So if you think of pollution, there is some marginal benefit, that's the savings of it, right? And there is some marginal cost that we're imposing. But when we pollute, we do benefit. We have a lot of savings because we don't have to update the technology. So if we had 0 pollution, so this is the optimal amount of pollution, right? But if we stopped, let's say here, we're giving up this much benefit and only would be imposing this much cost, so all of this is gains. This is surplus to the society. So if we stopped here at 0, we would actually be giving up all of this consumer and producer surplus to the society. That's why with 0, the total cost of reductions would equal the total benefit. No, the benefit would not be the same. The total cost would be much higher in terms of giving up the savings. Total benefit to society would be maximized. That's not true, right? Because we would be giving up benefit. Economic efficiency would be maximized. No, because if we stopped here, then all of this surplus that we could have had now would become dead weight loss. We would never achieve that. So this one causes trouble a lot for this problem, because the Coase theorem premise is that low transaction costs and enforced or assigned property rights, not enforced, assigned, well, I guess both, property rights make it easier to negotiate a private solution. But it doesn't mean that the private solution cannot be reached even if the property rights are not assigned. So, for example, I think in the lecture I talked about negotiating, having a party. We assigned rights to the RAs, we assigned rights to the students, and in either case, we could haggle back and forth and offer to pay one or the other to reach the socially optimal outcome. And even if the rights weren't assigned. Now, if we assigned the rights and one of them had a right to either quiet or a loud party, then you had a starting point and it was easier to negotiate. But it doesn't make it impossible, it just makes it easier. So regardless of who has the rights assigned, whether it's somebody or both or neither, the outcomes would actually be the same. You could still reach the socially optimal outcome. Okay, so for this last problem, it says she has a small business, rent is $400 a week, so that's your fixed cost. So this should be $400 regardless. She can hire temp workers for $200 a week, so you can see this is 0 workers, 1 worker is 200, 5 workers is 1,000, so this is 4, 6, 800, 1,200. So adding up costs, you could do this, 600, 1,000, 1,400. Marginal product of labor. So this is how much more output does each worker produce. If the total output goes from 0 to 220 and we've added 1 worker, then the marginal product of the first worker is 220. If now we've added 1 more worker, we're going from 1 to 2, and the marginal additional product of the second worker is 250, and we already had 220 units after the first one, this would make it 470. If I have 470 and adding a third worker increases the total output to 680, how much more did the third worker add if we already had 470 after hiring 2 people? He added 210. This fourth worker only added 160. So we already had 680, so now I have 840. now I have 940, so the marginal product additional output is from 840 to 940, that's 100. From 940 to 980, that's the marginal product of the sixth worker, that is 40 units. Okay, hope that helps.